Hello all. A very good morning to all of you. We are all welcome to the very first lecture in the KFRI webinar series starting today. Today we have Dr. M Chandrashekara to speak to us on knowledge tourism, the case of Teak Museum and Bioresources Nature Trail at Nilambur, Kerala. I am Dr. TV Sajeev. I am the research coordinator. My job is to introduce Dr. M Chandrashekara and give a brief on his activities over here. Dr. M Chandrashekara hails from a village in Karnataka state. He obtained his MSc degree from Mysore University, and he obtained his doctorate degree from the Jawaharlal Nehru University. For his PhD degree, he had been studying the evergreen forest of Nilambur Hills. He was specifically looking at the impacts of natural and human disturbance on tree regeneration, soil, and productivity of evergreen forest of Nilambur. He was also a recipient of the Young Scientist Award instituted by the Kerala government. Dr. Chandrashekara joined the Kerala Forest Research Institute in 1992 as a scientist in our agroforestry division. Subsequently, in 2001, he became the head of the Kerala Forest Research Institute Subcenter in Nilambur. His areas of specialization are forest ecology and agroforestry. By successfully completing over 26 research projects, he accumulated expertise in fields such as regeneration ecology, restoration ecology, eco-cultural analysis for forest conservation, interaction between above ground and below ground biodiversity, and environmental education with respect to biodiversity conservation and management. He has worked on biodiversity assessment, disturbance ecology in forest, indigenous ecological knowledge, and practices related to conservation of forest and associated biodiversity, conservation and management of sacred groves and home gardens in Kerala. Dr. Chandrashekara has published over 58 research papers in national and international journals, 26 technical reports, and has co-authored 3 books. He guided 3 students for the PhD degree and several students for their MSc dissertation. Dr. Chandrashekara is also instrumental in establishing a Bioresources nature trail in KFRI Subcenter campus. This park is a unique theme park in India with a large collection of plants, particularly rare and endangered species. It is my proud privilege to invite Dr. M Chandrashekara to give the talk on knowledge tourism. Welcome, sir.
Can you audible now? Can you hear me now? Not audible? Okay. So let me continue my presentation. So Kerala Forest Research Institute is holding a rich capital in the form of its researchers' knowledge and equity. However, productivity of this capital can be realized only when this knowledge is disseminated or transferred or shared with stakeholders. It should be always functional, and at the same time it should be sustainable. Considering this aspect, can you hear me now? So considering these aspects, KFRI has established a Teak Museum and Bioresource Nature Park in its subcenter at Nilambur. The main functions of these two entities include knowledge sharing and training, extensive conservation of plants, nature education, and also providing ecotourism and knowledge tourism. What is this knowledge tourism? I will briefly explain it as visiting a place for the purpose of enjoyment and at the same time gaining knowledge. And when we come to Teak Museum, before explaining its knowledge tourism value, I will briefly explain about Teak and Nilambur. So Teak, as you know, is a So now this Teak Museum has become one-stop shop for knowledge tourists and stakeholders for knowing about the Teak. The ground floor of Teak Museum, you can see different exhibits and information related to history, global distribution, and management of Teak. And at the same time, here you can also get the Teak information related to Teak through touch screen facilities. And a world literature collection is also there in a library located in the ground floor of Teak Museum. And in the first floor of Teak Museum, it is mainly devoted to provide scientific information related to nursery establishment, cultivation practices, pests and disease problems, management of plantations, harvest, utilization, and economics of Teak. So, when you visit the museum staff will take you to different ways for sharing and exchanging knowledge related to Teak. They also direct you to scientists in KFRI who are working on Teak, so thereby you can communicate with them and get more knowledge about Teak cultivation management and utilization. So, knowledge tourism value of Teak Museum can be in this form. So you can get information on seed collection and handling, nursery techniques and management, plantation techniques and management, pests and diseases and their control, timber harvest economics and utilization, and ecological, socio-cultural dimensions of teak. So this way, Teak Museum is having its own knowledge tourism value. As all of you know, India is rich in plant diversity and animal diversity, so it is considered as a mega diverse country, with about 9.13% of the world's known plant diversity here. This is mainly because of diverse physical and climatic conditions prevailing in our country, and as a result of this, we can see several ecosystems developed. And these different ecosystems are harboring, nurturing, and sustainably managing high biodiversity, and they are very useful to human beings. But as in other parts of the world, we can see biodiversity loss in our country also, mainly because of several reasons like over harvest, population growth, habitat lapse, habitat degradation, landscape change, and the change in our economy and culture. So we are losing biodiversity, but at the same time, it is very important to conserve our biodiversity to cater our and future needs of biological resources and ensure ecosystem services, because different ecosystems are linked with each other. So landscape ecosystem services are important, we have to ensure. And at the same time, we can obtain several socio-cultural benefits from plant diversity and animal diversity. So in this context, we have to go for both in situ conservation and ex situ conservation measures. And at the same time, we have to go for education and public awareness programs related to biodiversity conservation, and this is very important nowadays. With this background, we can see that botanical gardens are very important, and they play a vital role in conserving plants and also acting as knowledge tourism destinations. Therefore, KFRI has established a Bioresource Nature Park in its subcenter at Nilambur. Its view you can see from here. And in this Bioresource Nature Park, there are different themes like Orchid House, Hydrophyte Garden, then the Palm and Rattan Garden, Butterfly Garden, Fern House, Medicinal Plant Garden, Xerophyte and Succulent Garden, and Palm Garden. So these in these gardens, plants are assembled and they will be explained to visitors. So let us see knowledge tourism value of each theme area. Orchids. As you know, orchids are considered as floral aristocrats of angiosperms. And in this orchid house, you can see several epiphytic and ground orchids. And many endemic, medicinal, and ornamental orchids are also assembled here. So when you visit this place, knowledge will be imparted on different aspects to you by the staff of Orchid House. So you can get information about orchid diversity in India and in Kerala, and the epiphytic plants and what are epiphytic plants and their adaptations to epiphytic condition. And the endemic species like Iridus ringens you can see there, and at the same time rarity species like Vanilla, Poetiana can also be seen in the garden. And these orchids are known as indicators of healthy ecosystems, and that will be explained to you why we have to conserve and manage orchids. And there are many economically beneficial orchids like Vanilla, Planifolia, or ornamental orchid like Vanilla. So how to cultivate it, how to manage it, and what is its economic, all information you can get from this orchid house. So as I already mentioned, there are many medicinal plants, particularly ethno-medicinally important orchids, and their values will be explained. But now, due to different reasons, orchid diversity is declining, and in turn, that will affect many orchid species-specific mycorrhizal fungi and the bees and other. So this information also we can get. So what will be the impact of or consequence of plant extinction, particularly orchid extinction. The next thing media is Fern House. Here you can see over 90 species of ferns and fernalis, and many endemic species in the Western Ghat region are assembled here. And each plant is labeled, so you will get clear information about its name and other details. Here also you can the knowledge will be imparted provided related to fern diversity and the moist condition, how we have to maintain moist condition for its alteration of generation. Then again, just like orchids, ferns are also indicators of a healthy ecosystem, and that will be explained. There are many endemic RET and economically important orchids. You can see them in the garden, and then you can get information about their your cultivation practices, conservation measures. Yeah. And there are many ethno-medicinally important ferns like Elementos statis that you can see there, and then you can get information about this. And many orchids are many ferns are now being extinct, and because of this one, other animals and plants will also get affected. Example, and they are actually the houses for these frogs, mainly arborescent frogs. So their conservation is very important. And in the aquatic garden or hydrophyte garden, you can see more than 90 species. Some are floating, leaved and rooted. Some are submerged rooted, and some are emergent rooted. So you can get information about these aquatic plants, and at the same time their adaptation to aquatic conditions. So here also you can get knowledge, information about hydrophytes, like how they are adapted to wet and marshy condition, and what will be their presence or absence will explain us about the quality of water ecosystem. For example, if Eichhornia and Salvinia are there, then water quality is be very poor. And but there are many freshwater native freshwater hydrophytes. They actually maintain water quality and also provide food for many endemic fish species. And there are many medicinally important aquatic plants like Centella and Aquarus. And there is a religious culturally important plants like Nilambur. You can see all of them here, and also get how to information about how to manage them and how to get products from them, and what are the benefits of these plants also. Then one important feature of this Bioresource Nature Park is it's a medicinal plant garden. Probably this is the richest medicinal plant garden in South India, with more than 500 species assembled here in a good landscape area. So again, when you visit here, you can get information, general information like how many medicinal plants are there in India, and then very specific information like species and site matching, which plant should be planted where and how to manage it. That kind of information you can get. Then in this garden, several ethno-medicinal plants are assembled, so you can get information because each plant is labeled and the uses of each plant and which part is used. All information you can get, so that way a lot of information can be obtained. And what will be the consequences of depletion of medicinal plant? We can discuss with the staff and also among yourself about the impact of depletion of medicinal plant resources on urban drug industry and the Indian systems of medicine. Then cultivation practices, marketing and economics of medicinal plants will also be explained here. The next garden is palms and rattan garden, and as you know, palms are regarded as princes among the plants, and here more than 50 species of rare and endemic rattan and palms are plants. So In India, we have only 43 species of palms and 14 species of rattan, and there are many ornamentally important exotic palms, so which are of very important value nowadays. They are also assembled. And again, species site matching related to palms and rattan can be obtained. Information can be obtained here. And palms are very important. They are next to grasses. And they are playing very important role in human socio-economy. So economic benefit, cultivation practices, cultural and ornamental values of different rattans and palms can be obtained from here. Then there are many ethno-medicinally important palms. Example is Palmyra palm. So you can see that plant here, and then you can get more information about its ethno-medicinal value and cultivation practices. And the palms, if the resource is a decline, there will be high impact on coir and cottage industries. That information also can be obtained, and you can discuss with the staff and among yourselves. Next area is shade and succulent shade house for xerophyte and succulent plants. So here we can see more than 121 types of species of xerophyte and succulent plants. So they are distributed in different ages from families. And then you can also get information about how they are adapted differentially to prevent water loss. Then there are many economically important cactus and economically important xerophytes, for example, Xerophyte cactus, and culturally important or ornamentally important cactus like cactus. And you can see all of them here, and at the same time, you can also get cultivation practices, get information about cultivation practices and management practices. There are many medicinally and culturally important xerophytes like aloe vera, Tribulus terrestris. So you can see them here and then get more information. And many flora and fauna are linked with xerophyte and succulent plants. So consequences of extinction of xerophyte and succulent plants, particularly in dry area, can be understood when you visit this place. Then we have a butterfly garden to attract butterflies and enthuse them to live here. In this garden, many host plants are planted, and thereby you can see several types of butterfly visiting this place. And in front of each host, host plant, there will be a board with it giving information like botanical name of that plant, family, then which butterfly will come and what for it is coming. All information can be obtained. So when you visit this place, you can discuss with the staff and scientists there about butterfly diversity in the state and butterfly host plants, and the symbiotic relationship between plants and butterfly, and how we have to manage to develop a well-established butterfly farming is also we can get information. And apart from butterflies, this butterfly garden is habitat for many pollinators like bees. So that you can see many bees like honeybees, different types of honeybees here. And at the same time, this butterfly garden is also giving aesthetic value to our Bioresource nature park. So this butterfly and people link is very important here because many are plant pollinators. And at the same time, this butterfly garden you can see here honeybees, so that they will help in honey production. So due to habitat degradation and also due to loss of many plant species, plants, you can see the loss of butterfly diversity also. So the major threats and impacts of this loss of habitat habitat and diversity can be understood. And one unique feature of Bioresource Nature Park is Taxonomic Garden. Probably this is the first of its kind in India, with more than 125 angiosperm families assembled. And here you can get information about, basic information about plant classification and how you can distinguish one plant with another. So that kind of is very simple or a very easily understandable way you can get information from here. So for the benefit of botany students and forestry students, they in front of each family each front of each family bed, you can see a board giving all information about that particular family, like characteristic features of the particular family and what you call floral formula, then how many species you can see in Kerala and how many RET species are there. All information you can see and which are the plants you can see in this garden. So this way, this taxonomy garden is helping in helping mainly botany graduate and postgraduate students. So in India, there are more than 251 angiosperm families, and in our garden, we are having more than 150 angiosperm families. And here we disseminate information on basics of plant characteristics and the classification. And also, you can get guidelines from here how to establish a garden, particularly taxonomic garden. And then we can also appreciate the importance of, as you know, teaching taxonomy is getting less attention in our colleges and universities. So, but to cover up that one, probably this taxonomic garden is highly beneficial. And as I already mentioned, knowledge tourism is for gaining knowledge and enjoyment. So that means enjoyment part is also important. So considering this one, we have landscaped the whole Bioresource park with several types of topiary and trees and other structures, water bodies, fountains, and watchtower like that. So you can see when you visit here, you can see diverse type of topiaries and also how to manage this topiary, that how to prune and when you should be pruned, that kind of information you should get. And since this kind of landscaping will help or enhance the aesthetic beauty of color, so you can certainly get ideas from here to develop a good gardens. And many students, particularly horticulture students, they are coming here and they are getting an opportunity to learn planting and landscaping techniques. So as all of you know, urban green spaces or peri-urban green spaces are declining. Due to that, we are facing several ecological problems in urban areas. So what is important nowadays is to have well landscaped urban green spaces. And this Bioresource Nature Park can become a model for developing urban green spaces. And a well-managed garden can become a knowledge tourist destination. So this is very clear from some of the data we obtained and that has been published in current science here. So, for example, out of 524 participants in respondents for a questionnaire survey, many have mentioned that they obtain knowledge on different aspects. Like they have seen diverse plant types of plants, gained botanical knowledge and knowledge on gardening and various uses of plants, and also why we have to protect our environment. So this is one important feature of Bioresource Nature Park as a knowledge tourism center. So the degree of satisfaction is also very clear here. more than 90% of respondents are willing to revisit and also recommend Bioresource Nature Park to their friends and colleagues. Considering all these aspects, KFRI is trying or make all possible kind of activities, undertake activities to sustain this botanical Bioresource Nature Park and enhance its knowledge dissemination activities, and at the same time maintain attractiveness of this Bioresource Nature Park to the visitors. So thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Chandrashekara. We have a bit of time during which Dr. Chandrashekara will be available over here to respond to your comments, questions, clarifications needed, if any. You can post your questions in the chat box, and Dr. UMC will be happy to answer that. One of the questions is, Mr. Abdul Latif is asking whether there are any landscaping services available to the general public.
Yes, as such, we are not providing any services to the public, so only we are managing our garden, but certainly KFRI will undertake that activity in future. Yeah, consulting as a consultancy service, KFRI is very happy to take up that kind of thing. Yes, there is one question from Dr. Pavitra. How many visitors are there? Oh, okay, number of visitors. Okay. So this the respondents for that questionnaire only we have the study has been conducted for 1 month and also we selected only 2 respondents, not all. And number of visitors per garden is around 700 per day, average 700 per day. Yes. Thank you, sir. Dr. CTS Nair sir has is very happy with our Bioresource Nature Park, and certainly with your guidance and future advices, we will develop that into a more acceptable form.
So there's a question from Janal.
Yes.
Is there a common model to establish a botanical garden in college? Is there a common model to establish a botanical garden in college?
It is very difficult to say a common model because that depends upon how much area you are having, and then the landscape of that area, like that. But what is important, what is possible is if you visit this place, you can get how you can develop a garden in your college or in university. Like how we can establish Hydrophyte Garden, how we can have assemble different medicinal plants, where it should be planted, then the Taxonomic Garden also, and that is possible. A general model, I think it is difficult to say.
There is a strong interest in ecosystem services.
Yes. There is an advice from CTS Nair sir, that is there is a strong interest in ecosystem services of Bioresource Nature Park, or we can say urban green spaces, and there is possibility also, even in our sub-center, we can also study ecosystem services of Bioresource Nature Park. How it is, what is actually different type ecosystem services rendering, that kind of study can be taken, and even for PhD program or MSc. I think KFRI will certainly take up that part.
So there's a question from Pavitra again.
Yes.
There's any MOU with states to conserve biodiversity? No.
No, there's no such sense. There's no MOU with any other state like that. But what we can do is we can help other states and other agencies in different states to establish a bioresource nature park or biodiversity parks. Yeah, as a consultancy work.
So there's a question from Shilpa. It's an interesting question. How does species of other geographical area are adjusted to the environmental condition of the park in care?
Yes, actually we have not tried only a few species from other geographic area, but most of the plants which we are having here are seen in tropical region, particularly in the Western Ghat region. So they are adjusting. We tried one species of from Shola forest. It is surviving, but flowering is not happening. So what is important is we have to develop a botanical garden or a biodiversity park, considering the species, local species. And it is better not to go for collecting and assembling species from other geographic area. It may be, it may not give a very good result. So there is one more suggestion from Dr. C.T.S. sir, and I request Dr. Sajeev to answer some of the questions. That is, we have to make.
Thank you, Dr. CTS, for that interesting take on the presentation. Sure, it has the great potential to be part of the higher environmental education in Kerala. Right now, we have a large number of visitors in which the teachers will be coming with students to the Taxonomic Garden specifically. So that this is an opportunity where the teachers can show the students the differences between the plants then and there. The difference is that if they go to the forest, there'll be a high diversity seen over there of different types of plants, but then none of them will be numbered or classified. But the beauty of our taxonomic garden is that they can see the plants are live, and also the classification is shown over there. They can look at the various characteristics. As I suggested, it has to get much more integrated to the higher education in Kerala and the other states. We'll definitely take care of it, sir. Thank you. So there's a question from Janardhana. Is there a model forestry for climate change consequences?
For climate change consequences, what is important is we have to restore our degraded forests, and also we have to redevelop certain forest area. And then, so there is, as such, there is no model, but what is important is there are many forestry programs like restoration, rehabilitation programs that we have to undertake. Then only we can reduce the impact of climate change, and we can mitigate its effects.
Yeah.
Thinking of more customer packages. It came to different.
Yeah, there is one suggestion or some question from CTS Nair, sir. Sir, yes, certainly from Bioresource Nature Park, we can undertake different programs for different stakeholders. Maybe, for example, horticulture business. And so for them, we can give training on how to manage a botanical garden, how to create a topiary, or how to prune bushes to different shapes, then watering. That kind of training can be given to them. Similarly, for teachers, as already Dr. Sajeev mentioned, we can train them on different aspects like the taxonomy, then even management of botanical gardens, that will take. Then for many medicinal plant growers and users, for them, when they visit medicinal plant garden, and at the same time we can also undertake different training programs for giving them the importance of medicinal plant cultivation management and its economics and everything. So like that, from KFRI subcenter, we can have several programs for different training programs for different stakeholders using this bioresource nature.
There's a question from KS Rao about documentation of the responses of the.
It's a direct.
Yes. Okay. So you asked how we are documenting the responses of the participants,
Okay.
and which can be compared at a later point of time.
Yes. Yes, we have documented data or information obtained from different respondents. Certainly, we can again compare after a few years, so to know how much our bioresource is improved and catering the needs of different stakeholders.
Dr. Sita asked a question. We have done a very good job from moving from a plantation-oriented approach to biodiversity-focused system. What should be the next stage? I personally feel that the next stage is definitely going to be the ecosystem services offered by our forest.
Yes.
Pavitra is asking whether there's a possibility of providing plants, especially medicinal plants, to planters to conserve them in their own lands.
Yes, there is possibility to establish a nursery depending upon the requirement of medicinal plant growers. Thereby, we can supply them. And more than that, we have different programs even in KFRI, Regional Facilitation Center for medicinal plants. And through that also you can get information about how to cultivate and how to raise planting materials and establish medicinal plant plantations or medicinal plant farms.
Janardhan is asking about whether KFRI can take lead role in offering value-added short-term courses on taxonomy.
Yes, certainly KFRI can take up that program for training teachers and postgraduate or postdoctoral students also about taxonomy. We have all the facilities. We have, as I already mentioned already, we have experts in the field of plant taxonomy, and at the same time we have taxonomic garden. So it is so possible, and we will do it. There's one from Dr. Murali.
Yeah, about establishing biodiversity parks in each districts. How can KFRI get involved in this in its experience?
Yes.
Sure.
Right now, we have a request from the education.
Sir. From there? Yeah. Sir, please. There is a question from Dr. Murali, our director, Dr. Shyam Vishwanath will answer.
Yeah, right now we have received a request from the Education Minister, Higher Education Minister of Kerala, saying that he wants to set up a biodiversity park in Trichy district, that is near to Mala. The proposal has been sent to us and we have agreed, and we will be assisting him in setting up this park along with all the plant species that we have already committed in writing to Minister.
Thank you, Pavitra, and thank you, Balakrishna. And also Dr. Janardhan, sir. So, thank you, Dr. Yashwant Rao, for your compliments. Thank you, Muralidharan. Thank you, Dr. Anup Mohan. So thank you all again.
Hello all, we are coming to the end of this talk on knowledge tourism by Dr. M Chandrashekara. Thanks for all the participants who have come over to hear, and also for excellent questions, and especially many interesting lead for KFRI to take it forward. I am also with immense pleasure, I'm thanking Dr. M Chandrashekara for conducting this webinar, inaugurating this webinar series. In fact, Dr. M Chandrashekara is superannuating from KFRI this month. So this is going to be his formal presentation from KFRI, the last one from here. So thanks to Dr. M Chandrashekara, thanks to all the participants. We'll be informing you about the next webinar series. Stay tuned to us. Thank you all.